Frame.
You are in frame.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
Hey, guys.
Hey, look at our chat channel rolling and rocking.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey.
All the cool kids are there.
Should I close that door?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
Everybody's gone, remember?
Yeah, I do.
Hi, Rose. Or was that for the Vicodin?
Hey, everyone.
So, Fireside Chat 21.
Indeed.
21 weeks.
21 weeks.
We stand. I mean, it's almost half a year.
I know. That's kind of ridiculous. For 2 days a week of development. And then every other hour we could cram.
What's up, Blake?
Hello.
And Paul.
And Conrad.
And all y'all.
And Sir.
So, yeah.
And Road.
Of course. Correct, yeah. 21st week. So in 21 weeks, what have we done? We've got...
we started with a bunch of design docs for an MMO that we can't make yet.
Right. And precious little new stuff.
Yep, we stood up a new website for the IP.
Yep, there's the new website for the IP that is up, has content and
forms
and
there's
works.
Lots of content still to come. I'm not saying,
Sure enough.
We nailed that or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Did revamp our own corporate website, though that's hardly within the purview of this show.
That's true. And we also set up a Patreon campaign.
Did stand up a Patreon campaign, which has new content about 30 seconds ago.
Indeed. And in fact, things like the Patreon campaign have helped us make new content for the ongoing development as well.
Thanks, sir. No, I was casting last night until 2:15, so...
Yep. Watching colonies burn.
Yeah. Well, no, my first colony. Yeah. Murder hermit died in her bed, but...
yeah, it's a sad story.
It's kind of a sad tale. She was incapable of being violent or of being intellectual, so she tended her garden and stargazed and then starved. Alas. But yeah, so the Patreon, as you said, has allowed us to get some stuff going.
Well, yeah. For example, in building the map, that is our first Patreon goal.
Correct.
We've managed to rework and tune a bunch of different details on the area of shore, and
the actual world, and we've nailed down a bunch of the actual like metrics of the landmass and
all fitting our mechanics. Our, like, if anybody remembers from Meow, the caravan mechanics and the distances required to get from place to place were all preserved and carrying them over.
Yeah, in fact,
we also got a better level of detail out of it.
Absolutely, and so what I was going to say is I think I even have a more granular level of detail. Plus, I think that in the pen and paper, or at least with this realization of the map, travel times may have even increased.
Yeah, I actually was eyeballing that. I think they have a little bit.
Yeah, so
about 30%. I think.
Just about 30%, right? Just in the overall plotting of things and figuring out what good distances really would.
Yep. A lot of landmarks got named. Like a lot of just general world building that we hadn't had time for got done.
Yep, absolutely.
We had an awesome conversation today about roads and Anacapa, for example, brought on by things like the map or the stories that go into the story archive.
Yep, absolutely. We have we stood up an internal wiki so that we won't lose track of things like that, because this book is mine and they can't have it. So
so you need.
But you want some of the stuff in this book that needs to go into the wiki. So we'll probably be a task for someone here shortly to do stuff like put this page somewhere in the wiki.
Yep, absolutely.
Did it resolve, or is it just a tease?
So it's so bright. There you go.
There he goes.
That's all you need.
Still just a tease. Good one, now.
You could probably pause that one. And
maybe, I don't know. We're
tease
not super,
some
we're
details
not
out
super
of it.
res, but
It's an HD camera.
We also, there's about 21 pages in the player's guide, covering how one creates a character, how one uses contribution points in the game, happens when you die, how to be a spirit, a basic list of the attributes.
Mm-hmm.
There's more. I know.
Rules for character creation.
I already mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
There's something else. I'm missing something, but about 8,000, 9,000 words so far. Probably 10 times that by the time we're done, but still, we've made a hell of good progress on that.
Yep.
And spun out of that was the character creator application,
Correct.
Which we wrapped up last week.
Yeah, that's right, huh?
I still want to do save and load for PDF, but you can at least save a character out that you've created and save it as an XML file.
Yep. Yeah, that informs. Now we need to build a PDF that has the graphics in it for the actual character sheet we intend to put in the back of the book.
So that I can populate it with
and
the
then you
actual
can just
details.
populate it, and it'll be clean. I might actually put that on my plate for next week. Working in Photoshop to do some, line art. And put together just the first draft of a
That's
character.
Pretty cool. I've been playing with some layout stuff in Word for the player's guide, but the reality is
it's not that hard. And if you remember, like the original AD&D character sheets, they were kind of like a Corinthian plinth along one side, or not plinth, but a
column
along one side
with fucking underscores and
I could probably get something with that level of detail and some nice fonts and.
Yeah, I think we can rival the original Vampire for that matter.
Sure. And again, that was a rose and some nice lines.
But was basically the same thing. Yeah.
Yep, no problem.
You're right. Paul. We also got the clock running, and right now it's running in real time, 1-to-1.
Absolutely.
Instead of pi time.
Actually,
meow runs.
if the bot is up, can't you say bang time?
You can, but the bot is not.
The bot is not running right now. I must have shut it down last night. I ran it during my stream.
Yeah.
Which feeds into divination cards. It did indeed. We got the divination cards content complete as far as
now we just
words.
Need the designs.
Now we need the designs,
layouts,
the layouts. As I said last week, I have a couple ideas for back of card art that would work if it came down to gotta ship it today. I could lay 3 on the table and be like, which would you pick one and go.
Yep.
So that's, moving along. Also, that fed into the card app, which is in progress. It's not finished, but,
it's actually a hard one to do in Blueprint and Unreal. It's really kind of interesting. It's hard.
Yep.
Things that I would do in a line of code, you have to do in, 700 squiggly lines and boxes.
Right.
It's interesting.
So you got that.
Not to mention, that was a big ass bug. Not to mention some lore for the World Source book.
Absolutely, that just creeps and gets dripped in whenever I can.
And several new stories.
Quite a few new stories written by all 3 of us here.
Absolutely.
So all 3 of us got to contribute to
including
that,
2 serials.
That are rolling right now.
Mm-hmm.
Republished, the cipher. Indeed.
Oh yeah, not to mention developed a cipher language which we'll use throughout the property.
Yep, that is just one of many. In fact, I'm calling that one I've already said it to a couple people in the community, but that was my canary cipher is what I think I call that. That's my that was me testing the waters of your cryptographical talents. Because I can go more or I can go less. I always thought that, if I just threw a simple Caesar cipher at you guys, you would have cracked it immediately.
Right.
So I took it, a little step further. I could go farther with that. We will, of course, be incorporating these into the game because they're fun ways to embed lore into the art, and it gives sort of a visceral experience to those of you that are getting cool stuff.
Oh, yeah, and cool stuff.
Yep. I've also made some cool stuff, more of which will be going out in the mail any second. This week.
Yep.
Today. Tomorrow.
Indeed. It's cool stuff, too. Like, it's cool stuff. Seeing it.
It is.
So it's not bad for 6 months. I mean, I feel like we got a bunch of stuff done. I don't know that we're necessarily where I wanted to be.
I agree with
that. To be fair,
that.
we're not quite at 6 months. We're actually at 5 months.
5-ish. Yeah, that's true. So, but progress made. awareness of the existence.
And I think that we can have the first draft of the player's guide done, 2-3 weeks from now if we really push on it.
Yeah, relatively quickly. I agree.
Hard part's going to be figuring out how much detail goes into the list. So, like, there's a list of cultures. There's a list of how much of that's in the world source book and how much of that goes in the player's guide.
How exhaustive is the actual player's guide?
The rest of it's really just cranking it out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's all here. It's just time to get it on paper.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks, Cloaked. No. With the right funding, perhaps.
We try to get good. It takes a lot of effort. So this week specifically, what did you guys work on?
This week specifically, I wrote lore for the webpage. I'm specifically writing about Kongarai and Anakafa. I'm hauling on that stuff. I also did more map work and made a couple Patreon posts, one public and one not. So even if you don't pay, you can still jump over there and see something cool. In fact, I put a lot of hours into the map this week, and lore and editing of the next story to go up. And pretty sure that is the bulk of my effort on the Theleston IP this week.
Yeah.
I believe so. I'm trying to think if I did anything para to that. It's likely.
Yeah, well, you did generate a piece of that cool stuff you were talking about.
Oh, crap. Yes, I did cool stuff. The cool stuff took up actually a bit of time because there was some craft involved, and then some writing, and then some handwriting and stuff.
It's fun, though.
Oh, it's super cool, too. One of the things I wasn't sure if would work or not, totes works.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
yes.
cool. That's
Max impact, so rad.
Yeah, that's one of the cooler parts. I agree.
So, yeah, good shit.
This week, mostly, I've been writing that story that he has said is going to be coming up soon, and it is going to be going up soon. It's one of the 2 serials that he mentioned before. These serials are going to be called Mercenary and the Matchmaker. Yeah, but they take place in Kongarai.
Yeah, which is cool. It's a location we haven't really featured yet.
Absolutely, right. And it's really cool.
Just hinted at in a couple blogs. That's about it.
Yeah, a couple people have moved through there, but not.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And it's really cool that you're writing lore for that too, because all of that is congruent with the wiki that he recently made. We just throw all that up there, and so a lot more has been solidified about that area.
Yeah,
which is really neat.
It's good for our guidebook.
Oh yes.
Oh hell yeah.
Also, we noticed that, or Snipe Hunter noticed while looking at the skills, that there was sort of an imbalance in the priority of attributes. So if you were like, say, a very perceptive motherfucker, you could probably do almost everything with some capability.
Yeah, I was a little disturbed that you could basically take all of your points, put them into perception and resilience, and take points out of charm so that it was your lowest skill, right? Yeah. And like grognard the F out of a character. And that was the exact opposite of what so we had to go back, and Berta is actually doing it right now, try to figure out, how to distribute the attributes across all of the skills. So yeah, that'll take a little while.
Yeah, well, I got it better than what it was before, certainly. It's not, like, the outlier isn't ridiculous, but it's still not even.
But you had mentioned that you thought the problem was you didn't have enough skills.
Yeah, and so I've been looking into adding more skills and other skills that we can do. But part of the transition from Meow to paper and pencil, you actually told me the opposite of what I'm about to say while we were making the Meow, was that we couldn't get too in depth with the skills in a Meow because all of that has to be programmed, designed, and made real in the game. Here in a paper and pencil universe, right, we kind of need skills for things like climbing, running, swimming, like things that were basic skills in D&D that might not have been represented in
things that would have been handled automatically.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And so it's skills like that I think don't require being perceptive that we will benefit the most from, and that's what I've been trying to look into.
Yeah, I think
now.
Yeah, and I, as I said when you brought it up to us originally, I think I agree. And so expect an increase in the skill pool.
Absolutely, and we already have a lot of skills, so.
Yeah, and now that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to like triple the skill pool or anything like that, but we will definitely add the missing skills.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, just to bring balance out to the whole thing.
Exactly.
No dump stats.
Yeah, charm. There was literally like two skills that use charm.
Important.
I agree.
Well, let's see. So, like I said, I wrapped up the character creator. Also, writing. So what I did basically was the developing your character section of the player's guide. It's not quite finished, but it's pretty close. And that covers everything from how you increase skills after you've created a character to, the effects of aging and madness and death and all of that stuff. Like madness and corruption are the part that but when that's written, that's literally one whole section of the book done, and probably pages. Right now, I think it's 3 or 4, but add the tape.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's that's pretty substantial. Like there's actually a fairly large swath of
the book
finished in the book.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I kind of write out of order because it's not a story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not all right at the beginning, but it's all interspersed out there.
No, that's actually
whole sections.
That's really cool.
And that was my big push. The other thing I did was I spliced videos.
Which is also really cool.
Thank you.
You can't see it on my screen, but in the background, I have Premiere Pro literally still running because it takes hours to splice all the video together.
Yeah, and those are for the map videos of me drawing and inking the map of Greyshore, and I'm probably 80, if not a little more % done with the first pass black ink pass, which is all of the major features, the hard lines, all of the stuff that actually illustrates the world. Next after that will be a detail pass where I do blue kind of around some of the water, some of the lines of the rivers and the lakes, and just any water feature I'm going to touch with the blue ink, not fill in with a wash or anything, but just sort of accent. And then the next pass after that is either titles or the illumination. And by illumination, I mean, I'm going to add some beasties out in the water, some things like that. A compass rose that'll probably take up a piece of time, and the key. And then titling, and the titling I'm going to do all in sort of a red or a red sepia. And I bought some inks for that just yesterday, so we'll do some test runs and make sure that I got the color mix down before I do that final pass, and that'll be all the titling in red, and then we can send it to the printer.
Hell yeah. It'd be cool to get prints of that going.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, everyone in the Patreon over $25 level will receive a print of that map. So tell your friends. Cool illustration map stuff.
It's pretty cool, like it really is.
Map not yet acquired. I got a promise though. Amboise promise acquired.
Amboise promise. Sounds like a spell.
Yeah, no, that's
bard song.
That's a key item in a Final Fantasy.
Okay, yep.
It's represented by like a crystal or something.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. It's because they romanced you.
Well, certainly. Or if you ever played The Bard's Tale, that was one of the Bard songs.
I've only ever played the second.
Promise,
I've only ever played the second one, so the jokes, some of the jokes fell flat for me, but it was.
That's right.
Hilarious.
The Bard's Tale is a comedy now.
Yeah, got rebuilt. By the same guys too, so it's kind of like when Gibson wrote the screenplay for Johnny Mnemonic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he just decided just to stick a clown nose on that.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm taking
big red shoes.
I'm
man.
taking the
money. Yep, absolutely. Did I say 25? I said 25 and up. Did I not?
You said over 25. It's actually 25 and up.
Yep, it's 25 and up. Oh, I see it, sir. Hey, yep, I see it. I see your question now. Rose answered correctly.
Oh yeah, Rose also had another question. We did in fact come to an agreement that the people of Blackwell use imperial measurement.
For now.
Except it's not called Imperial.
I think it depends on who you ask and when they wrote it.
Yeah.
For now. I think that ultimately that'll change.
Yeah. It could be furlongs.
But it's not.
I like furlongs.
It's not going to change to metric.
I just don't know what the fuck a furlong is, so.
There are more people on the planet who'd read it in metric.
On Theleston?
No. Our media.
I think
which
they're
is
the
Theleston.
I think they're the Synodon measurements.
I like that. No, that's cool.
And,
But I like phylongs.
And it's not. It's not
There's probably a
it's
room
actually not
in
a
Sky
mile.
Pass.
That's actually just us misinterpreting it. It's actually the mille,
The mille.
and it's actually 1,000 metras.
Right.
Metras.
Yeah.
Metras, I like that.
Okay.
I think somewhere there's a room in the Abbey in Sky Pass wherein
So
there's
the joke is that it's.
yeah. there's a volume there of probably gold.
Yeah,
something.
totally.
That is the weight.
Yeah.
That's how much that weighs. That's the Sky Pass standard.
Yep.
Sky Pass food.
You guys work Sky Pass standard? No, we're on the Valor standard. Oh, you guys use lead.
Yep.
I thought Baylor would use silver. They seem pretentious like that.
Do more trading.
Well, yeah, it's more
so if you
silver
do
than
more
gold.
trading, you use the more common element to make your trading implements.
lead. So wait,
if you're a snooty
there's
Brogine, it's got to be gold.
So
because gold and lead have different weights.
So what you're telling
Very
me is
similar,
that there's
though,
more
actually.
lead
That's
on.
why the Valyri can use lead. Because it actually doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I know this. No, so what you're telling me is that
The
there's
more
lead on
you
the planet.
know.
Yep. Furlong is an eighth of a mile.
It's an eighth of a mile. Huh? Is that so?
A furlong? 1/8.
How
of a
do you
mile?
determine this? I
How
think it's
long?
like the length of my foot.
You go to
heel
the horse,
to toe.
You go to the horse race.
So how many schlongs are in a
Right.
furlong?
I think they're. Well, that depends on how many stallions are running the race.
Oh, okay.
If you go to horse races,
Right.
furlongs are.
Are you serious?
Yes.
What's a furlong?
It's an eighth
Yeah,
of a mile.
it's an eighth of a mile.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, your quarter horse takes 2 full furlongs real fast.
You weren't just making that up?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know anything.
That's why Quiplash works.
Yep, I'm kind of good at that. It's the fibbage, actually.
Fibbage, that's what I meant. Yep, exactly.
Yep. I'm a untrustworthy narrator.
I like the untrustworthy narrator. The best narrator.
Exactly, Zero.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Exactly.
That's called the span, and then you measure trips and how many spans they are.
Yep. How long before I have to switch out my cartman? You know, the person pulling the cart.
Excuse me.
Once every Cartman.
So yeah, that's kind of the status updates. Anybody want to talk Theleston? Anybody got any Theleston questions?
Talk
we can answer?
Theleston.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk Theleston.
Theleston questions.
Well, I mean, you gotta have some questions.
I agree. Next week there's going to be another Oracle of Theleston's, is there not?
There
Yeah.
is this Sunday.
Scheduled to be this coming Sunday. I hear tell. Which is cool because that means the Sunday that I'm likely to be at war,
Yep.
there will be no Oracles of Theleston, and so
Yep,
I
which
won't
is
be
good,
missing out.
Which is good.
Awesome, Artemund, and welcome to the channel.
Oh, that's great.
Do I have to stand up and do this?
Yeah, exactly. I'll spin my guitar.
I'm gonna pick up some nerdy-looking boy, take him, and spin him around a bunch of times. Take him to a tailor. He's gonna come out looking hot. We're gonna grab a cocktail waitress, do the same treatment.
Put
She's
him
gonna
together
look.
a hot rod. See what happens.
Over 2 songs, we're gonna have the Great American Romance, and that's what we're all about here.
Arteman.
Yeah, it's this one. It's a role-playing game. Takes place in a world called Theleston.
Theleston.
Yeah.
Indeed. And you can go to Theleston.com and learn more about it.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Probably Baby Cannon or Baby Cannon is Rose. If you were so kind, please put those.
She's on top of
you're
that.
awesome.
She's on top of that.
Yeah.
What's up, Killer Bees?
The way I tell, I describe. Sorry, not I tell. The way I describe Theleston to the younger folks around those.
The younger folks.
The younger
Hanson
folks.
crowd.
Right, the Hanson crowd?
Yeah, the Hanson. Because you guys go into depth. You have this easy top crowd, right? The guys who want to listen to that, right? when I'm talking to the youth, I generally describe Theleston as an original dark fantasy, right? And it's not so dark; it's more weird fantasy. We have come to
more
see.
Strange horror.
Yeah,
still fucking horror though.
Yeah. Grounded in Lovecraft.
Grounded in Lovecraft and Robert.
Horror. I'm not getting back on the bus
until you say it's fucking horror. It's
fucking
horror. It's fucking horror.
But yes, it's a strange horror, low fantasy world that sort of takes the ideas of Robert E. Howard's Conan and Lovecraft with our own lore masters' ideas and kind of mixing it up together to create our own original fantasy world.
Yep, that's a pretty good example.
Hell yeah!
Hey, Killer Bees. Very much. Hey, wait. I think I've seen Killer Bees somewhere before.
No, yeah?
It's a name that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does. Bees. Not the bees.
Yeah, so we have a lot of the ZZ Top crowd here has a lot of experience with pen and paper and role playing, and so we're using that experience to kind of streamline our ideas and create a new system out of some stuff that you can learn about reading elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out the site; it's cool.
Yeah. But so far, what we do in order to sort of keep you guys entertained with that, keep the train moving along, is he makes cool stuff. We have a Patreon which has several, or had a reward, which was making a map, and we talked about making the map. All of us write stories every single month. It's actually part of the Patreon reward system that I talked about. 2 stories each month are published for you to see on the Theleston.com.
Yep.
You can go read the 2 ones that are, or maybe 3 that are up there right now.
Right now it's 3, but that's a special case.
Yeah, it's a special case because of the serial.
Yeah.
That's not unusual, but yeah. So
there's
lots of stuff for you guys as well.
I don't know if you can see them, but these are all Conan's and Cole's.
Yeah, we have Cole and Cole's same dude, also Howard.
Yeah, Howard.
And we're going from the original.
We actually have
and honestly, it's
Indiana
not that
Jones
we are basing stuff entirely in those guys' world so much as taking their cadence, their lead, their flavor and tone, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of Lovecraft stuff takes place sort of in a more modern setting in the 20s or the 40s or in the kind of gaslighty area back in the 1800s even.
Century,
they don't really go back farther than the 1800s or so. Hey, thanks for the follow. We appreciate that. That's awesome.
To your name.
It's Killer Bees.
So thanks, Killer Bees. So yeah, we're taking that sort of creep and bringing it all the way back to a sort of swords and not as much sorcery setting, so that when you do magic, weird horror magic, it ends up working kind of that way. So you have a medieval setting where people aren't just flipping fireballs around, because if you're gonna use that sort of elemental magic, that's gonna have an impact. That's gonna change the world. That will scar you, right? Yeah. So we're trying to blend those elements that the hard fantasy.
It's kind of a pretty
of Conan
it's a
with
pretty unique world as a result. I really like it.
I agree, and we have a lot of history in MMOs and that sort of stuff.
Fantasy games in general.
Yeah, exactly. We've written a lot of fantasy, and so writing low fantasy, so to speak, is sort of a new thing for us, and it's exciting. It's cool.
It's
so
fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a passion project. Yeah.
It's not so much what we did for Rift or any of those.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Rift is a little over the top with the magic.
Magic
and technomancy. I'm doing the technomancy. The first time,
magic tech, son. Not even techno.
Did they go with? Oh,
yeah, they
totally did. Yeah. Those guys. Yeah. So that's what we're about. And thanks for stopping by, and thanks for watching.
Yeah. So every Tuesday afternoon, we kind of do a little status update, so everybody what we've been up to for the week, doing next week, and to answer any questions anyone has, and that's kind of what this is.
Right. And Rose is on board for Dark Elves and Sparkly Gun Dragons, so she should probably go play something.
Actually, we've written.
I wrote.
Just Dragons and Titans.
Dragons and Titans. Yeah, exactly.
We wrote lore for that game. Dragons and Titans.
It's got that in there.
I don't know that it has Dark Elves, but it does have Sparkly Gun Dragons.
It does have Gun Dragons.
They're not dark elves, they're fire elves.
We have various sort of elf.
Yeah, but I was saying I don't think dark is one of them.
The Nari, the various Nari, right? Yeah. Do we have any?
The fire ones are dark.
The closest thing
we have the ones in space.
Would be those monks in the vault.
Oh,
you're right. Yeah. The ones that they operate totally in darkness. Yeah. And then we do have the ones that reached out into space with their minds.
I forgot about that.
But those are more like
is that dark elf?
Not really. Those are like space elves.
Okay, space elves. Space elves are like the
Eldar.
Yeah.
What are they
My
called
life
in
for
Robotech?
hire.
In Robotech, the Invid?
Space
or do you
elves.
mean the Masters?
No, the space elves.
It's all about Teen Angst.
That's
funny. Teen Angst came up recently.
Yeah, the giants.
In this studio.
Do you mean the Zentradi?
The Zentradi.
Oh, I see. They're not exactly elves. They're like space goblins. I don't know.
The Zentradi are elves. After where we get to it, where the humans and everybody are like...
Yeah, it's true, Arteman. I kind of gave up. Kind of gave up after a while. I used to be a hardcore, but I couldn't take it anymore. I do like their movies, though. They're fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, superheroes.
Yeah, the comics that we have up there, like you said, Conan, Cole, we have Indiana Jones, and also Grendel.
Yep.
I thought those were...
I read a lot of Vertigo.
Vertigo was good, though.
You wouldn't put Grendel. The Protoss up there with elves.
But they're the Eldar, and the Eldar are elves.
Yeah, I know where they came from. Iggledy, giggledy, wiggly, plop.
Yeah. we're making meta jokes. In universe, they're not elves.
Absolutely. True enough.
Yeah, exactly, Zero. Exactly.
That would be...
They become space... I know what you're talking about now. You mean Macross. It's in the new one where they added space elves.
Oh, did they? I haven't seen.
I couldn't get through the promo episode. Like, not even the actual first episode. The promo that aired at a con before.
Wait, you can get through that one?
I couldn't get through that one.
It was okay.
It's not that it was bad, actually. My issue was that it was like every new scene was like 15 different new alien races. And I'm like, this is not what fucking Macross is about. What the fuck? You know?
Yeah. Aw, Lake. I used to love my toss. I'd carry your rushing people all day.
Oh, yeah, or Dumbo
Or
Drop.
Dumbo Drop.
Yeah.
That's the sneaky.
Arbiter Drop for those folks who don't know the lingo.
No.
Yeah, you put your Arbiter over there by their crystal mine.
All about the Zerg.
Oh, no. I crushed the
Zerg, Nidus Canal.
Oh, I'll crush the fucking Protoss with the Zerg.
Creep everywhere. Nidus Canals.
Nidus Canals, creep.
If you, the Protoss, don't penetrate my borders as the Zerg, I will overrun you.
That's what you say.
Oh, that's what will happen.
Yeah.
Unless there's a time limit in the game, and if there's a time limit in the game, then you'll probably win.
See, that's what I was thinking you meant.
Yeah, you meant the Masters.
That was what I was thinking, too.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. My favorite were the Invid.
They played fucking light harps, man.
They totally did. Smoked
That's
flower
not the
life.
most space elf thing.
Token up the flower's life.
That's a little more space Hobbit. I don't think elves smoke.
No. I meant playing.
So it's
yeah,
the light harp.
Oh, the light harp.
Armament is more centered in
elves don't smoke.
In roleplay, very much individuated roleplay. Mm-hmm. We do have some ideas.
Also, don't describe Legolas smoking.
For world events that we've discussed on this show a few times, we have a concept of something called the Chronicle, which is a server-based model of what's going on in the world at any given time, so that a referee or storyteller of the game could reference that before a narrator. That's right. We actually solidified a term. The narrator of a given game group can check in on what's going on in the world before their game session, and thus know what's happening in the world. Yep, but really, it's about your character's exploration and growth and discovery of the world. Theleston is really a lot about discovery, mystery, uncovering the lost history of the world, that sort of thing.
As the world itself evolves over time.
Yeah, so exactly. As Rose says, it's a collaborative storytelling system, primarily.
A big piece of what we're trying to do is build a role-playing game system wherein not just the storyteller or the narrator has control of the game, right? So where players play more of a direct role, sometimes taking kind of the story themselves. Excuse me. There's a whole system for how this works in game. But that means that we have to be able to support high-level things like national politics or city politics or machinations of the gods upon the face of the planet.
Right.
All of these things have to be sort of ticking in the background and changing the world around characters for the story to be interesting and for characters to want. Don't know.
Everywhere I go, Rose.
Well, is it back now?
It is back now.
Yeah, I can see it dancing.
Yeah, I imagine the cable just got loose. I don't know.
Yep.
That was unfortunate.
It was poking up into the thing, and I reached over and touched this part and went, boop, and then it went poof. It was my bad.
Gotcha.
My bad.
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
Gotcha. That's neat for it.
So, what Snipe was saying is,
Yeah, so
primarily about
the game is played at the character level. It's all about
Right.
what you do, what I do, what anybody does. But all of that feeds back into the game world, and so out of necessity, that means things like city politics, national politics, religious affairs, the actual like literal movements of the gods on the planet,
Right.
all have to be taken into account because they all affect the environment that you interact in.
Yes.
And it works both ways. You make a change that's going to impact, say you buy a bunch of gear for an adventure. Well, that wipes out the blacksmith. Well, that means that city's not going to have tools, and that's going to change how that city thrives in the system.
Right.
And all of that's in the game. But honestly, if you're an average player and you don't care about that shit, you'll never see it.
You're likely not to see it. Right.
But the Chronicle that we're talking about will still be keeping track of all of that kind of stuff. So
Yes.
the world will still change as a result.
Right. And you can use that for your own stories. Another maybe point of clarification that speaks to what you're asking, I think, is interesting. See, you're already leaning towards this. So we're trying to avoid things like creating Faerun's Elminster. However, our gods are all legit. They are the gods of the powers, and we have kind of three classes of god. We have the Elder Gods, which are the legit gods of the world of Theleston. They're the ones that coalesced, the planet out of the nothing, and Anima is the goddess that creates all living things and that takes them when they die and recycles them into new living things, so to speak. We have a soul by Anima's grace, that sort of stuff. However,
Old ones.
there are the great old ones, and the great old ones came out of the stars. They came out of the aether. They came from other worlds or other dimensions. They are interlopers here. They're not meant to be here, and they can be fought, right?
Aliens.
Essentially, Godzilla is essentially a great old one.
Sure.
That kind of thing. But likewise, if you've read Lovecraft books, Bokrug would be a great old one. I think Bokrug comes from the moon, if I remember right. And it's the doom that came to Sarnath.
Right.
So those are great old ones, right? Godlike in their powers, godlike in their influences, but essentially not of this place.
Yeah, they may be gods, but they're not gods of this world.
But they're not gods of this world,
Yes.
correct. And then there are the Outers, and the Outer Gods are the forces, the primal forces from which all things are spun, so to speak.
That's
they're
where Lovecraft.
the heartbeat of the world, they're of the universe, even.
Yeah, they're the
kind
gods of everywhere.
Azathoth, the screaming hole at the center of being. Polaris, not you, Pol. But if you read the story, the Lovecraft story, Polaris and the star out there that just, that could just be the eye of Azathoth, that's the Outer Gods. And so they have those guys. And so there are different kind of gods amongst the gods. Some that you could probably struggle against. Some that you could struggle against with some ability. And some that are like, just you don't want to meddle in their affairs at all. Or maybe you do because you're looking for that sort of power. And
or
all
because
that comes
they're going
with
to do
it.
something terrible. But, it's like an ant attacking a giant.
Exactly.
What are you going to do?
Yep, and that's me, Pol. I'm the small and petty god. Thanks, Rose. Yes, the fourth class of God are our patrons.
Yes, absolutely. Those are the best gods. Sadly, we don't have dwarves. No dwarves.
Nope,
Open
no
eye.
dwarves. Industrious people, no dwarves.
Yep, no dwarves, no elves. Basically anything that you find that is humanoid but not human is ought
Weird.
to scare you.
Yeah, because it's some horror.
Because
from
it's
beyond
some
of
horror
sort.
from beyond, right? If it's humanoid and not people, you should be worried.
Sketchy. Yeah. Very sketchy.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So, that's that in the nutshell. Yeah, a trailer or something. I don't even know how you'd make a trailer for a pen and paper for a tabletop. Like,
Oh man, if I had it rigged up to show you a YouTube, I would show you
Is there one?
Shadowruns from 1990.
Oh my god.
It is
I
amazing.
forgot.
Uh-huh.
It is amazing.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the one where they're like wearing costumes and
All
crap.
against the street with the keyboard instead of
With the guitar, yes, I totally remember.
that
Oh my
is the one.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can pull that off.
So great.
I don't know.
Didn't vampires also have
We do
one?
expect to have some of the books
I
out
don't
soon.
remember. They did a bunch of shit.
We're thinking we
Yeah.
might even be able to get the first draft of the player's guide out within about a month, you were saying?
Yeah, for sure. A couple of weeks, I think, for the manuscript.
And once we can get some test prints up, we expect to go to cons and do the sit at the booth, run the con game, get people to come by and sign up, and do demo games. So we will be doing more visibility things when we have more actual product. Right now, you're in on the early side, so to speak.
Cool. Any other questions?
I don't have any.
Well, we're hitting towards our usual checkout. So.
Serb says he's gonna fly and film the run the con game. Hey. Convention game.
So
That'll be
you're
a
saying-
fun year because we'll have to do the
Circuit to
Yeah.
some degree, right? At least the local circuit, which is
Well, I think you want to hit Phoenix, you want to hit LA. The other one, I can't remember.
San Francisco.
I consider Phoenix local. I consider LA a little stretch, but
I was thinking
Kansas.
Kansas. Yeah.
Kansas is local.
Sure.
Wyoming.
No, there's a series of big cons every.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Gen
okay,
Con
yeah.
circuit essentially. I don't want to go to Kansas.
And the player can side with one god or subjected to their godly environment. Well, both.
Both.
All of the above,
All
right?
of the above.
Correct. Yeah, you can choose. You can choose to support any god you like, and they
Yeah,
may or
man.
may not care.
I'm gonna worship Morakath. That's the best worshipper. Yeah. The hinderer of ways.
I'm gonna worship Morcat. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Exactly. Yep, Serb gets it. Y'all got it. We've been talking about this for years at this point. So, yeah, 2 more ish.
Yeah. Well, you and I a long time, but
Absolutely. Theleston is not a con. Nyarla is a con.
yeah.
And he is.
Hotep.
But we'll have to revisit the convention circuit and do the panels and
That'll be fun.
give away stuff and
Hell yeah. Run tournaments.
roll dice, roll
yeah.
tournaments, and play with our friends. Come out to our... In fact, come to the Kansas one, because that's the one that scares me.
Why? Because it's in
Because
Kansas.
it's fucking Kansas, dude. Have you been to Kansas?
Yeah.
Sorry to our friends in Kansas.
Yeah, I've been to Kansas. Flat.
Yeah.
Pretty flat.
It's pretty cool. If you have like a well-balanced car, you can just take your hands off the wheel and just let it idle across the state.
There you go.
I'm sorry, Kansas. I apologize. That was rude.
East Coast, Connecticut. My mom lives there.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure there's got to be like one in New York, there must be, right?
Yeah, I bet there is, actually.
Yeah.
There is.
There's one in Atlanta. I can't think of the name of it now.
Yep. Yeah, and then there's the brand growing, exactly. I mean, maybe Alaska, right? We go to the Anchorage Games Con. You figure everybody in Alaska, man, they got to be starved for games and shit. Like, it's not like they're going to be able to travel all the way to the real states to get... Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and the PAX is another.
And then
one.
PAX, right? PAX
Yeah.
is another circuit. I mean, that's
Like
roleplay, etc.
Will Wheaton.
Is it? Connecticut. So what's funny, Serv, is that Connecticut actually is one of the more likely places that we could make on our lowest budget tour.
We could couch surf.
Because I bet you I could get couch room. And in fact, I bet you I could get guest room status in a couple places in Connecticut. So, yeah.
We'll get a 52 Packard and just drive.
Just drive? Yeah. Do I have to wear sunglasses and drive only at night?
Yeah. No, it's a 52 Packard.
Oh, it's a Packard.
Yeah.
Oh, then I have to sing Moving Right Along.
Yeah, Moving Right Along.
Waka waka.
So, a bear in his natural environment.
It's a Studebaker. If his heart weren't ice cold from the endless winters. Fozzie Bear, but no, it's a Studebaker.
It's a Studebaker.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
No, if it was gonna be picks, we'd have to.
I haven't even seen a 52 Packard in 20 years.
Yeah. Oh, if we were gonna do an actual you and I road trip, it would have to probably be an SS. Which of those?
Yeah, like a Camaro.
An El Camino.
Like an El Camino, yeah.
The little pegs holding the hood.
79, yeah.
Bunch of computers in the back.
Yep. Absolutely.
Excellent. Well,
old story.
Are there any more questions about Theleston or the stuff?
And the lore?
Because if not, then we should probably take a moment to thank our humble hosts, the DOP crew.
Absolutely.
And
they
to
let
plug
us
their
use
show.
their channel anytime we want to stream Theleston stuff.
Yeah, DOP
cool.
crew guys, they're a riot.
They're awesome. Yeah, and plug their show. They do gaming every night of the week here on this channel.
And they are a crew by name, too.
There's a schedule
More
down
than
below.
one person.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people. In fact, every
Awesome,
Saturday night, they get together and play games at a point night.
That's correct. And you could, too.
Yep.
So, yeah, check that stuff out. If you like games and things less serious, follow this channel. Because they'll be on doing their stuff every night. Tonight I think, is Verde Manzana show.
Yeah, at 11:30.
There'll
be a game and then some story time right at the end of the game in order to wind things down and bring people to...
Nice.
Yeah.
Thursdays, I also do a game dev show that they host.
Correct.
And I just wrapped up one project, so I'll probably move on to a new prototype. I'm not sure yet.
Yep.
I might just integrate the org.
Yeah.
So that said prototype becomes the backbone of the app.
Of the app, right.
Awesome.
So you could be creating
Yeah.
characters with the origin matrix, and so that's awesome.
Yep. So I may
And
do
so,
that next. We'll see.
Watch some code smithing on Thursday night.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, if there are no more questions, then I guess we'll call it a day.
Yeah, it looks like we're about 3 minutes early.
About 2 minutes early.
I know what you mean. I'm just looking at the clock.
Better than being chronically late.
Yeah. Chronically late. This has been brought to you live from Colorado, U.S.
That's right.
I'm Omwa. See you guys later.
Good
Thanks
night,
for showing
everybody.
up.
Hey, I just want to take a minute to point out that what Rose is saying right there about that their Theory Forge this Sunday, Oracles of Theleston, you should be there. That show is awesome and it deserves your support.
Go do it.
All right. See
You
guys
listen
later.
to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.